He's super excited to be here today with you for our weekly live on Thursdays. And I am really excited about today's topic. Today's topic is something that is constantly requested that I talk about, which it's really funny because it's funny and it's not because it's understandable. When it comes to real estate, when it comes to any business, 80% of it comes from your mindset. And personally, I think it's more than that. But 80% of your business will be successful and will become successful based on mindset alone, meaning that those tips and the knowledge and the tools, those are great. But if you don't have the right mindset, the right frame of mind when you are doing this, it can be really hard and make it much more difficult on you to become successful in real estate. So something that I am asked all the time is to talk about this. And I would love to. So we're going to talk today about rewiring your mindset for success. Okay. And we're going to be covering practices. We're going to be covering affirmations, and I'm going to give you tips and tools. And if you're watching the replay, comment replay. But if you're on now, I would love to know if you're on and say hello so I could see who's watching. I see my team is on, but I would love to see who else is watching outside of my team. And let's jump into it. Okay. So the biggest thing is I've noticed in real estate, in working with team members, all kinds of things, that life as we knew it when 2020 hit, when COVID hit, changed. And we adapted, but I feel like, and we're definitely more in a more virtual world for real estate investing, but we've also adapted. The work ethics are different. The way things go are different. It's been a massive shift in the last few years to where this really did change, but also it did something to a lot of us mentally, right? Thank you. Just saying hi. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Shifra. Okay. So it really did shift for us. And one of the things that I say, and people don't really like this, especially if they're not in a good place, is your current reality is a result of your thoughts and actions. And your mindset really does create the reality that you're going to have. And what you focus on will become your truth. And so I talk about this a lot because if you're focusing and you have this negative mindset and you're constantly thinking things are hard and things aren't going to work out for you, what do you think is going to happen when it comes to your day to day and how you handle things? Whereas if you just assume going into the day and expect that it's just going to be a great day and that no matter what happens, you can handle it, it's going to be really good. And it's going to go a lot smoother for you. And even the days that aren't going that smooth will go smoother than if you were in a negative mindset. Being negative isn't going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere fast either. It's going to keep you stuck. And the reason you aren't where you want to be is because of mindset. And I can tell you this for a fact, because when I talk to my successful students, they all say they had to get their mind right. When they got fed up or when they really just worked on themselves and made it to where they were doing well, it turned around and their business started doing well. And also it works against you because when I talk to women, do you know what it is that stops them? Fear, their mindset, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown, and fear in general, fear of making mistakes and stuff like that. And so your current life is something you're putting up with, and it's what you're willing to put up with. Because if you weren't willing to put up with it, you would make a change. And I say that with so much love. Okay. But you are willing to put up with this life, and that's why you still have it. Because if you're unhappy with your job, your relationship, your finances, the way things are going, you would make the changes to make it work, right? Think of anyone that's lost a significant amount of weight or completely changed who they were and it felt like it was overnight. It's because they just got to a point where how their current reality wasn't working for them anymore. And so we often fall back into old habits when we face challenges. So, for example, I'll see a lot of women really excited getting into real estate, and then they get discouraged because a deal doesn't happen or something falls out or a seller answers a call really weird and things like that. And then they immediately fall back into their negative beliefs, their negative things. Oh, of course this doesn't work out for me. Of course this didn't work out. It never was going to. And like, or you see, like, let's go day to day. If you're not in real estate just yet, but you're learning, you see people go back to old relationships, old jobs that didn't serve them, just because starting something new or doing something new is scary and you're looking for reasons for it to not work. So you'll do that and you'll go back, or you'll go back to your old eating habits and they creep in. And in order to make this lasting change, you have to commit to completely rewiring your brain to committing and staying motivated and staying disciplined to the bigger life. And me and my ladies, we talk about this weekly of how important it is for you on a weekly basis to really, really work on commitment and expecting that things are going to be better for you. Okay? Does this make sense? Is this landing with any of you that are on? I love feedback, so please start commenting because I'm not seeing a lot of them. And I would love to know what you're thinking, if this is landing or if this makes sense to any of you. Okay? So I really want you to think about that. And the other thing I want you to think about here is if you want something different, what are you going to do to change the situation to make that a success for you? So thank you, Marcy. If you don't like your job, why not find a new one? Because it's paying the bills? Do you think something else isn't going to pay the bills that maybe you're going to love a little more? If you're wanting to get in real estate, how long are you going to sit there on the sidelines instead of just jumping in? If you don't like your financial situation, what steps are you going to take to improve your financial situation? Because you have to take action. Okay, you have to take action. You have to change your daily steps. And my brother said this best once, because this was years ago. And my brother is not like the mindset. I mean, he is a very love and dearly strict, to the T, follows the rules, stuff like that. And he said, Liz, if you want something to change in your life, you have to change what you're doing daily. And he said that to me, and I was like, okay, Kyle. Like, but it was something that really stuck to me. It was in my kitchen of my apartment. I was having a rough few weeks. And so it's something that was incredibly amazing to hear, but also from someone you wouldn't expect to hear it from. I think it landed different. And it was just this really good thing. And we were talking about this on my Tuesday meeting with my ladies. The fact that you desire something, the fact that it's placed in your heart, it just means that you're meant for it. So why are you going to settle? And this is a rewire. So I'm going to be a little harsh here. So if you can't take tough love, this might not be the live to sit on today. But one of the things I want to say here is, why are you settling? You have one life here. And everyone's like, Liz, it's easier said than done. Of course, but I've completely transformed my life in the last few years. And I've completely rewired how I think about things and how I talk to people and stuff like that. But it was a commitment. I have seen people that I've been in relationships with or other things go back to their ex because it's easier. It's easier to just be with them and know what to expect, even though it was incredibly toxic. I see this with my friends. Some of my friends will go back and stay because it's just easier than the unknown. And I bring up other experiences outside of real estate today, like going back to exes and stuff, because we can relate to that. And if you can relate to it, you can apply it to maybe something you're currently doing right now. Right? So people go back to what's convenient, comfortable, and familiar, even if it's negative. And isn't that the craziest thing? And we all do it. I'm guilty of it. We all do stuff like that. It's not like I'm like holier than thou and not. No, we all do something like that. And it's when you become aware of it and you're going to be like, Liz, am I doing this because it's just a comfort thing and I'm scared of the unknown? Or am I doing this because I'm supposed to do this? I'm supposed to go back or what have you. But I can tell you something now, nothing good comes from going back. Nothing good. And so I want you to kind of think about that. So remind yourself that if you have a desire, if it's in your heart, it's there for a reason. Whether you ask God, the universe, angels, whatever you believe in, you ask them for a path and they're giving it to you. But you have to be able to grab that opportunity. So one of the things you have to do is you have to commit to change. The biggest thing is you have to commit. You have to decide and say, I'm doing this, and you are going to follow suit, meaning universe and everything else, because it all comes down to deciding. It comes down to taking action. And so I want to remind you, though, but your life won't pause. It doesn't stop for your pausing. It doesn't stop for your procrastinations. Only when you're think about it. How many of you have wanted to do real estate, but have sat on the sidelines And there's no shame in this. Okay. You don't even have to answer it publicly if you don't want to. I have talked to people that have decades of just sitting there and learning, but never doing out of fear. And life doesn't stop. That time is going to pass, whether you're procrastinating, whether you're putting it on pause for whatever reason. And only when you're unwilling to continue feeling unfulfilled will you make those changes. Okay. And so think about a time you made a significant change in your life. Go to that point, and I want you to think, what was that moment that I said, I'm done with this? Some it's walking from jobs, doing real estate, things like that. But you have to get really real with yourself to make a transformation. Rewiring is not meant to be easy. This is something I still practice every single day. I still do my mindset. I still convince myself, even on harder days, that I've had worse. It's 11:11, by the way. Well, here in Eastern time. And and so you have to see, but you also have to realize, am I staying because I'm comfortable, or am I genuinely happy? But if you were genuinely happy, you wouldn't be wishing for more. Okay. So I want you guys to think about that. Thank you, Cindy. Yes, exactly. I have for many years, and I finally made the change. And so it's like you have to just commit and just say, I'm going to do this, and not give in to the negative talk. You're going to still have it. It's not just going to go anywhere. I mean, no matter how positive I am, I still have negative thoughts, but I've learned to rewire and to become aware and be really, like really, really on top of it. So how do you start making these transitions? How do you become your best self? My students and I did an exercise earlier this week where I had them actually like go, it's going to sound very woo if you weren't there. Okay. It was probably woo if you were there, but I had them go into the future and talk to their future self. And one of the things that they realized is that they already had the answers within them. So you need to start identifying with the woman you want to be, your highest self. And what does she look like? How does she talk? How does she like show up? What does she say? Is she tall? Is she short? Is she the same height, but she looks taller because she carries herself better? You know, how does she feel? And you really want to start embodying this, right? You really want to bring those traits to you, because success comes with sacrifice. And I don't like the word sacrifice all the way, because I feel like that has such a negative connotation. But you also have to give up some things, and some things are bad that you have to give up. You have to give up your negative things. You have to give up the things that are stopping. You have to get up the negative things you are saying. And despite it or not, our brains naturally want to think negative. They naturally want to think towards the negative outcomes and beliefs and all of that. So I want you to start embodying who your highest self is. And when you start embodying her, you're going to start transforming into her just naturally. But are you willing to do that? How committed are you to becoming your best self? Right? And we talk about this a lot because there's a lot of fears and doubts with this, right? There's a lot of doubts, and don't fight them. Don't fight the doubts, just doubts. Redirect them. Redirect them. You know, ask yourself. I tell my students all the time, even when it comes to other people, like, you know, saying, oh no, this is this, and this, I say, is this ultimately true? Right? Ask yourself, is this fear valid? Is what this person is, or what even I'm telling myself, valid? Or is this my brain's way of resisting change? And I'm looking for the answers to confirm that things are going wrong. Right? Like we get into real estate and we want to be all hopeful, but we're also like, okay, well, you know, I've been in for months and now it just doesn't work. And I'm looking for all the excuses. Maybe you don't realize you're doing it, that it doesn't work, and it's not going to work for you, even though it's worked for thousands of other people. And so I really want you to think about that. Is this landing with you guys? I'm very curious. Yes, I know what I am to do, but do not know how to do it. Love this. Okay. Let's gear off just to this, and I'll come back to my topic. You don't need to worry about the how as much as you need to worry about listening. So when you decide to become a different person, okay, listen to what your body wants to do, the inspired action, you're going to have these inklings to do something. You're going to, how do I put this? You're just going to know. It's just something in you that's going to do the next step. You don't need to know how you're going to get to your highest self. You're not going to know until it starts happening and you look back and realize that you are who you used to dream about. Okay. But you want to really just follow inspire what lights you up. I'm talking to a friend of mine that's going through a transition right now. And I told her she doesn't know what makes her happy anymore. And I said, "What lights you up? When you think about it, you get excited and it's just that's your next step." Don't worry, like Martin Luther King says, don't worry about the whole staircase. Worry about the next step, then taking the next step and the next step, because you're going to build slowly over this. So I hope that was helpful. So you want to do that. But here's the thing, you have to embrace that you are going to mess up. You have to embrace that there's a little bit of risk and you're going to be fearful and you just got to do it anyway. My quote, do it messy, right? You just have to do it anyway. Do it scared, do it fearful, do it messy, and it really does make its big difference. And I want to make it well aware that success doesn't come without risk. Okay, successful people, they're not sitting here waiting for the perfect moment. They're just taking action despite everything going on. And you don't want to wait to feel motivated, because motivation is fleeting. You have to be disciplined and you have to act and you have to do the things anyway, right? And so I want you guys to really think about that, because this is a big shift when you rewire your brain. And this is scary in the best way. I like the scary where I know it's going to make me better. Okay? So one of the things is you want to become very aware of how you're thinking. You want to check your beliefs about money, about success, about real estate, about your fears. What's really cool is when I started in real estate just almost 9 years ago, there was 5% of investors, not agents, investors were women. We are now at like 33 or 36% growth. Women can do this and they're realizing it. And that's why communities like REIW are out there to really show you guys that women can do this, and we're going to empower you and remind you, because it comes with a lot of doubts. Us as women, we carry a lot of doubts. We carry a lot of fears within us. We have families and people that rely on us, right? And so becoming aware and checking your beliefs. And I do a whole thing on money mindset. Actually, I think that's coming up because you guys love Money Mindset Week. I think that's coming up soon, of how to like rewire your brain around money, but also success and becoming somebody that is very aware. And I go to therapy and I've done it for years and I will continue. I back therapy 100%, no matter where you are in life, no matter how good life is. It's always good to have somebody to bounce things and thoughts out of the ideas. And one of the things she says to me, she's like, you are so aware that it sometimes almost inhibits you, because you're like, I know why I'm doing it. I know what's going on and I know how to fix it, but you're like aware. It's like this instant switch that you're just super aware of what's going on and you know how to fix it and what to do, and you can fix it, or you're figuring out, why am I not fixing it, right? Things like that. So you want to become aware. Then you want to step away. So you want to meditate. You want to visualize your goals. And I'm switching the word goals to target, because goals, I like the word, but I feel like goals are like, like weight loss goals and New Year's Eve resolutions. 99% of the time, people don't stick to it. But if you have a target, eventually you're going to hit it. So I want you to visualize your target, your targets with emotion. How do you feel doing that? How do you feel closing on your next big deal? How do you feel when a seller says yes? How do you feel when you find a buyer and he's not going to negotiate your fee down? How do you feel about that? Like I'm doing the switch because we're rewiring. So I want you to keep in mind, that's why I keep doing this motion. But it's like, how do you feel when that happens? Okay. And so thinking about that, and then you want to write down the desires. So put your targets on paper, make them tangible targets. You're going to have your big ones, like your vision board, right? These big things you really want. But one of my ladies we do within the student group is a becoming board and what's their perfect day. And what they're realizing is that they actually are really living a good life of what they dream of as far as day to day. and what they still want in their day to day, they're working towards, and it doesn't feel that far out of reach. I do a lot of mindset with my students. It's not just real estate. So that's why I'm bringing this up. But it's like being able to get that on paper and make it tangible and realize you're not as far as you think. The big goals may seem far, but like those goals that get you there, because the big target is there, but there's these steps. There's these steps that you have to win to get there. And so they see they're not too far. So writing down your targets and making them tangible for you will move you a lot faster, because you're going to be, I'm not that far. I'm not that far from the next one. And I can do that. And it will make you want to do the next one until you are in the house that you want, in the place you want, in the relationship you want, in the business you want, with the success that you're looking for, and things like that. But big success comes from a lot of tiny wins, right? So then you want to practice that. Then you want to be grateful for what you have. This always ends in this way. End this on a positive note. Focus on the positive, because a lot of you have what you used to pray for right now. And so being like incredibly grateful that you have this life that really is what you've worked towards. And maybe it not be the life you envisioned like ultimately, but you can get there. But it's going to not happen if you're not grateful for what you have. Gratitude gives back more and more, right? Because I've seen people like reach certain steps and they're just so negative, and they're like, this was just so hard to get there, and blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, well, has your mindset been this way the whole time? Like, yeah, you've had to push a boulder up a hill because you're just making it harder on yourself. Make sense? I'd love to know, while I kind of close out this, some takeaways here. But let's start with some affirmations. If you're in my Facebook group, because I'm streaming all over, I do daily affirmations in the group. And every time like it slows down and I say something, people freak out and they come back. So it's wonderful, because I love the affirmations, but I also want to make sure it still serves my community. And so I have a couple of affirmations here that I want you guys to kind of think on and tell me which one's your favorite. Okay. Thank you, Carrie. Hi, Laura. Um, I am not my thoughts. I am what I do. That is something that's really important. Even as positive as I can be, a lot of negative thoughts and fears still stroll in. And I remind myself that I am not just what my thoughts are saying, I am also what I'm doing. And as long as I continue to do what's right and do what's right by people and show up, and the actions speak louder than the words I'm saying to myself, I become better and better. The other thing is I am on the right path. Opportunities are constantly presenting themselves to me. I say this so much. This is one of my favorite ones, because opportunities, good or bad, are still opportunities to become my best self. So even when crazy things happen, like this year has been insane for me personally, and I'm still like, okay, good or bad, these are opportunities for me to do better, or opportunities for me to continue growing and grow faster, right? Everything is always working out for me. This is another affirmation that I really love, because it just shows like that lucky girl syndrome. Like one of the quotes I do a lot is, I'm the luckiest woman in the world. It's kind of like those things where you just start believing it's just going to work out, because it always does. And I was talking to another friend last night, and I said that. I said, it will work out just because it always does, good or bad. It works out for you, right? And even the things where I've made horrible decisions and went through hell, it still was amazing for me. It was still amazing. It still turned out better for me because I went through, I had to go through those, and I embraced that kind of stuff. And the last one is, I want you to say, I am, see your name. So I will say, I am Liz, and only good things happen to me. And repeat that to yourself several times a day. So I am Laura, because she's the last one that commented. I am Laura, and only good things happen to me. And start repeating it throughout the day and watch your life change. I'm telling you, if you think I'm woohoo, wait till you start doing stuff like this. Wait till you start showing up. Wait till you start doing what you think. And I talk to people, and I'm like, it wasn't one day I woke up and I just had this really great mindset and couldn't remember the last time I said something negative to myself. It took time to get there, right? And it took a lot of action. I'm sorry. I wish I could change my webcam, because my dogs are both sleeping upside down right now. But it took time to get there. There you go, Laura. So one of the things that I want to say here, we're going to close out, and then I would love feedback. So please, I see a lot of people commenting. Don't be shy. I love comments. So comment your biggest takeaway, your favorite affirmation if you want. But here's the thing. Start with being honest with yourself. Okay. And your willingness to change. How important is it to get into real estate for you? Because I talk to these women and they're like, it's so important, but they do nothing about it. And I'm like, then it's not that important. And that's okay. Don't feel shame for that. It's just not a priority right now. There's other things that are more of a priority. There's nothing wrong with that. But to get into real estate, it's not a half ass game. You have to be serious about it. You have to be like, I'm doing this. It's not a hobby, but it's a life changing job. It's a life changing position. It's a life changing solution, right? So you have to, because excuses will always be there. You just have to be strong enough to overcome those excuses, because there's always going to be a reason it doesn't work, or it's not a good time, or there's too much on your plate and stuff like that. So when you take consistent action towards your goals, it's going to be not a matter of if it will happen, but more of a matter of when it will happen. And it will happen. And I tell the ladies this all the time. I have never seen a business where you can put in the time and get more in return than you've actually put in. Okay. And so I want to think about that. I want you to think about that. And just a reminder, to become successful, you have to embrace discomfort. You have to brace uncertainty. You have to do it anyway. And you say in a few months, time will clear up and I can do this. No, the only reason time looks clearer in the future, even a few months from now, is because your calendar hasn't made it there yet. But if you notice, next weekend, I have no plans. But by next Friday, I'm probably going to have plans for the weekend. Do you see what I mean? Like, the calendar is going to fill. You have to dedicate that this is going to happen no matter what's going on currently in your life. And so I want you to think about that, because action may not bring happiness. Is a quote. I'm going to quote this. I don't know who said this, okay, but I have it specifically here. Action may not bring happiness, but there is no happiness without action. So you can't just dream about your life, love bugs. You have to take the wheel and you have to drive towards this action. You have to drive towards the dream that you're dreaming about. And dreams are just goals. They're just destinations. They're just guidelines of how to get you to what you're really wanting. So I want you to start thinking about rewiring your mind. I want you to start thinking about, how bad do I want this? How bad am I going to give it all to make this happen for myself, for my family, even just for your own confidence? Okay. So I'm just going to read a few of the comments here, and I hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to feature what you guys are saying. It's just very cool. I have faith and trust in myself, and I have like the same 4 ladies commenting. I love you guys. I am Laura. Only good things happen. Look at Laura go. I am the luckiest woman alive. I am Jessica, and only good things happen to me. I loved all of them. Thank you for the reminders. Yes. Yeah, I'm called the kick in the ass coach. So students will come up to me and be like, Liz, I just need a kick in the ass. I'm like, gotcha. Okay. You have to be committed. You can talk yourself out of things with ease. You can talk yourself into taking inspired action. Yep. Awesome. Will I repeat what? The quote? Jessica, I can't remember what you're asking. Is it for the quote? Yeah, no fear here, right? Exactly. And honestly, fear is very normal. It's your brain's way of keeping you safe. If you didn't have fear, you're pretty much like a psychopath. Like, no offense. Like, you guys are pretty much a psychopath if you don't have fear. It's a very normal thing. It keeps everything, it keeps you safe, but it can also keep you stuck. Okay. All right. So the quote is, I have to find it because I exited out of my little bullet points. Action may not bring happiness, but there is no happiness without action. So thank you. So one of the things is just really understanding yourself and your brain and becoming very aware. And I promise you, if you can overcome how you talk to yourself, if you can overcome the negative beliefs, you are more than capable. And I tell my ladies this, because you have to be interviewed we don't just hire anyone. Like, we actually get on the phone and talk to you and find out like how it works for you. You're welcome, Misty. And if we can coach you, we're not just going to take your money just to take your money. And so one of the things that I tell my ladies, I'm like, if you're in this group, It's because we believe in you. It's because we know we can make you successful. I'm not someone that's going to sit there and take your money if I don't think I can get you to your goals. That's just not me. I want to sleep at night. I make enough in real estate. I don't have to coach, right? So our community is a lot smaller than most because we are there to help. You are there to become successful under my watch, and I will stick with you until you do. And that is a promise I make to people. So, that is something that I want you guys to really, really think about is like becoming parts of places that matter, that show up for you, because you're going to doubt yourself and you need somebody there, or in our case, a whole group of women there that come in and tell you, no, we got this. Like one of the ladies was a little discouraged yesterday about something that she heard on a call for her field. And guess what happened? A bunch of ladies came in and immediately reminded her that she was a badass, basically, and re-empowered her to get back up on the wheel and do things. Because in real estate, it's not easy. I told my students this the other day. I said, if everyone did real estate, we'd all be multimillionaires. There's a reason there's a breakthrough for it. There's a reason, but then you become that reason. You become that success. And we need women in real estate. We need women to be out there and helping out because there are a lot of scammers out there. There's reasons all these laws are coming into place around wholesaling because people are abusing it and they don't have any heart for our sellers and our buyers. They just care about the profit. Whereas most women, like I would say 98% of them, are genuinely in it to serve others and help people. Yes, you're going to get paid for it like any other job gets paid to do their job. But also you're there to save and help and be there for women and show up. And that is more important than anything else. Be there for sellers, not just women. And that's why women are successful. That's why we're doing so well. That's why it went from 95% men to 33% women, right? So it went from 5% women to 33. So I really want to do that. And there's nothing wrong with being a wholesaler, Shifra. It's how you run it. Because I am a sole wholesaler. I solely wholesale. Laura, my mother, that is my business partner, and she's usually on these. She does it all. And she's phenomenal. All the coaches on my team pretty much do it all. I wholesale because I want to change the name of the game for wholesalers. I want you to see, I want sellers when they come to me and they've been screwed over by other investors. I tell them all the time, I'm not other investors, just like I'm not the other coaches out there. I'm not going to take your money and run. I'm in my Facebook group every day. I'm on calls. I do lives. I do what it takes. I do as much, and it's all mindset. I'm telling you right now, and my students agree to this, it's mostly mindset that's inhibiting. And so we work on that every day. So speaking of that, let's go into the raffle real quick. How do you get entered into the raffle? So how you get entered into the raffle is you have to be a part of our Facebook group, Real Estate Investing Women. You have to fill out the questions. It's limits how many scammers, even though they're still getting in there, are in there. Okay. And so what this is let me see if I can make this a little better looking. Nope, that looks worse. Okay, we're going back to this way. Oh, that looks good. Okay. So I am a big fan of Amanda Francis. I just signed into another one of her courses. Like, I adore her, and everyone knows I adore her. She has changed my life. I have her book right here. I have a signed copy. It's packing because I'm moving soon, but I have a signed copy from her as well, where I actually just told her that she changed my entire life. Anyway, when it comes to rewiring your brain, she talks about money, but you can apply this to day-to-day life. And she has so many resources, but she has this book, which is right here. And then she has a journal that goes along with the book. And now she just came out with a planner, which I have, and then a mug as well. And so this winner today is going to get this entire package because it changed my life. And I know if you listen to her teachings and you apply it, it will change yours too. And I usually talk about this a lot more during Money Mindset Week because this is more along with money, but it's still amazing. Anyone that's read her knows I love her and loves her too. But here's the thing. In order to win our weekly raffles, this is the raffle this week, you have to be participating a lot in our group. You guys, I see it all the time. You guys are fighting for it. You guys are fighting for it. So we've been taking the top 3 or 4, if it's tied, commenters of the week, putting them in a wheel and spinning. And so this winner, you have 1 week to claim. And what's funny enough is she's been on and commenting. You have 1 week to claim this by emailing into questions@realestateinvestingwomen.com, and we will ship this entire bundle to your door, no cost, just to thank you for participating in our community because we like to give back. So that is Carrie Helton. Carrie, congratulations. You are our winner of this week's raffle. So thank you very much for participating. And I can't wait to get that book bundle and mug out to you. I actually use those mugs quite a bit. So I have that one. I have all of her mugs, but I have that one. Okay. So as we talked about, yes, I'm reading with Laura. I saw news that there are predators taking advantage of people. This is what just changed my mindset. This is why I do real estate. It's because I've done enough. I've made enough money in it, but every time that I get frustrated or something with it, I'll talk to a seller or have a seller thank me for being different, for being somebody that made a change in their life, for showing up for them, for not giving up if it was a really complicated deal, for what have you, it mattered to them. And, or I'll overhear my team's calls because I'll listen to recordings from time to time and to give them feedback. And they'll say, thank you, because all of mine are trained to talk like I do. And they would just say, thank you. No one, we believe in educating our sellers. So we always leave them with some sort of value, even if they don't work with us. And they're like, people time and time again will say, I chose to work with you and your team because of the way that you showed up for us, because you gave me solutions where everyone else just kind of said, sell with me or you're an idiot, basically. And so I also don't lowball them. Like I try not to. Obviously in wholesaling, you have to go very low, but I try to be what's fair. I'd rather make a couple thousand and give them what's fair than try and go out there and make 50 and screw them over. One, they don't really usually okay with that anyway. They don't agree. So one of those things is you have to be somebody that shows up for the greater good. So if you are interested in working with us, I just want you to comment interested, and we can talk, get you on a call. I have financing solutions for you to work with us if you want. We also partnered with a third-party financing that pretty much approves everyone to work with us. So all you have to do is comment interested, and then the lovely Brianna, which I see her commenting, or my team will reach out to you and get you on a call with us and see how we can help you. Because here's the thing. Real estate, it's ever changing, and now it's changing more than ever. But I want to help as many women change their lives the way real estate changed mine. It not only just changed mine financially, but it gave me the purpose that I have right now to coach. And I wouldn't be a coach and fulfilling my purpose if I didn't have real estate. So if you're interested, definitely comment interested. We'll reach out to you. And be able to work with you, because I would love that. But otherwise, I would love to know, what were your takeaways from today? What did you hear that maybe was like an aha moment or helped you really move forward? I'm very curious. Other than that, I hope today was helpful for you. I hope that you had a little bit of a rewire, or maybe some reinvigorated enthusiasm towards this, because this business, it's crazy all the time, but it's so rewarding. And I can't tell you where you can go and make this much money with little effort. Like, not effort, I would say like little income, or you know what I mean? Like this, I just don't know where you can go and put in hours of work, maybe 10 per property, if you break it down to the property, and make 10, 15, 20, 30, $100,000. This is for wholesaling because I wholesale, but even rentals and flips, like there's a reason. This is why your net worth will grow rapidly with real estate and all of that. So I'm so glad, Carrie. So I'm glad that today helped you guys. We are a quiet bunch outside of my lovely four. Thank you so much, you guys, for commenting, ladies. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope that today helped, and I will talk to you guys soon. All right. Love you all. Go out there, make yourself aware, rewrite your brain.